Well, shit. Yeah, fucking little merch advertisement right there. And I can only play that much of a song because that's how much fucking YouTube fucking allows you to. So anyway, this is a 48 Sharks video. And honestly, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna talk about this time. So I'm gonna just kind of ramble. While I'm rambling, I'm gonna be Googling a random subject to talk about during a video generator, and it will be loading while I'm saying this, and I will be maximizing it. That way, we can get the get to the point that we're trying to get to. And I will generate a random topic, which is, how often do you go to the library? Well, shit. Normally, I would fucking say, click generate random topic again, and do another one. But every topic is a fucking comment. Content, 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 and content, 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 content. I mean, content, 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 content. How often do you go to the library? Fuck, dude. Last time I went to the fucking library was, I guess I'm just doing a questionnaire with myself at this point, and so we'll go with that direction. Last time, how often do I go to the library? I went a few years ago. That was to vote for my state, not even for the fucking election. But, last time I went was, like, with my mom. And some other videos, I'm sure if you're watching, you might know, or you might not know, that my YouTube videos are essentially a fucking autobiography of myself and my life, and a journal, diary, pretty much talking about myself and my life. So that's where the genuineness of where I'm coming from comes from. So yeah, my mom and my dad, they would separate the things that I would do, like, so with my dad, I would do like a lot of fun stuff, but because that's not the stuff my mom would do. My mom would like take me to a park and read a book. She would take me to a library, or rent me a okay, so that's another thing. She wouldn't really do much, nothing against her, but yeah, I mean, that happened. But so going to the library was like a really big thing, because that was one of the few things that she did. And it's lit, because like the library we went to in Boynton Beach, it had like this entire corner of the library that was like VHS movies. And this was like back when VHS was like still a prevalent thing. DVD players haven't even been made yet. And man, I would just watch Batman, The Never-Ending Story. Like, dude, I would. It was my Netflix. Like, I would watch all of the movies, and it's hard to just like name them all, because like every movie that was there that like I was allowed to rent out with my little, I'm so proud, my little library card, just renting everything out. And I remember we had to buy a cloth bag, like a strong cloth bag that would hold like a lot of weight, because I would get so many books about jokes, drawing, Star Wars, a lot of fictional shit. Like, I would really never get any biographies until I needed it for later on in school. But man, yeah, the Boynton Beach Library, dude, that shit was fucking epic. And before that, when my parents were still kind of together, I do remember going a little bit to, I think, the Lake Worth Library. And that place was cool. That place was cool, man. I met a kid. He had 11 fingers, and I thought that was pretty wild. And I'm like, I literally remember asking this kid, "Why didn't you get your finger cut off?" He's like, "What do you mean?" And he was like, "How many fingers do you have?" And I'm like, 10. He's like, "Why are you missing one?" And I was like, "Am I?" So, the library, dude. The fucking library is lit, dude. And there's so many stuff, dude. Like, you know, I could write a book. I could write a book, and the book would be in a library, and somebody would take my words to heart. Like, they would take everything that's in that book. If I wrote it, they would learn from that because they don't know. I mean, this guy has a book. Fuck him. You know, he probably knows what he's talking about, or otherwise he wouldn't have a book. You know, a lot of people are probably like that. But I mean, yeah, man. I don't read books. I would like to write books. I used to read books. I mean, I read short articles and short things, but I mean, the library is still a fucking magical place. So, hell yeah. And I'll pick another one, another topic, because fuck it. Lol. This one's really relevant. It goes literally into the same one. Which do you prefer? Books or movies? And by the way, if you're watching this, comment right now. When was the last time that you went to a library? How often do you go to the library? And also, in the comments, put down, what do you prefer, books or movies? You know, that would be really interesting, and we can have that conversation down there in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe as well. So what do I prefer? Obviously, like I just said, movies. I don't really, well, I didn't say that. I said I don't really prefer reading books. I know they're magical. I know they're glorious, and I know they do so much. I even said I would write my own. But as far as what I prefer, I'm a very visual learner and a very visual person. So, I mean, I'd rather use my imagination. I'd rather watch something visual, know how it looks, and then imagine even more based on what I'm being fed, instead of creating the entire world and not being able to comprehend all of it at once. So, I mean, in the books, I mean, I know they're a lot more in depth. I know they're a lot more deep. Things happen, even for anime. Anime is a lot different than the, the manga is a lot different than the shows, the anime. But I don't know. I mean, I to me it depends. It's totally dependent on whether you're very visual or like image inclined, or like word inclined, or whatever inclined, music inclined. Like there's a lot of different things to that. So I mean, a lot of people bash me for not reading books, but I read a fuck ton of articles, and they don't read articles, they read books. So it honestly, it depends. You know, it depends. What do you fuck with? Put it down in the comments. It's irrelevant. Man. Okay, so this one says, what is your favorite subject? I guess I would say writing. Writing. I mean, you get writing and talking about. I like to talk about things that I like to talk about. I like to give my opinion. I like to try new things. I like to see if something would work or not, even if it doesn't really make sense if it's gonna work or not. Like, I just want to fucking try it. So like, I cut my hair in some of other videos. Like I literally cut half of it, right? It was bald, and the other half was like there. I mean, that was funny as fuck, and I learned that from like just a lot of writers. Like David Lynch never did it, but Alex Gray did it, and like two or three other people cut their hair in half, and they were writers, and they would write about really weird stuff, and it was really cool. And David Lynch, he did the whole body dysmorphia thing. He wrote Dune, he wrote Eraserhead, I mean, Fight Club. Like, I mean, again, there's books on all of these things, but just the favorites. Like, I mean, I appreciate the writing. I probably wouldn't read the book, but I enjoy the movie, because you still have to write a movie, and so that's kind of where I am on that. Yeah, writing, 100%. That would, if I could choose as one subject that is my favorite, it would be writing. The second would probably be science, and that was always a long one that I've ever had my entire life growing up. Just science. Science is fascinating, and it shows you it proves and disproves a lot of things, even about yourself, and that really applies to life. So, and let's do one more topic. I could do this one. Do this one. Yeah, I'm just gonna click 5 more times, and then whatever it is, that'll be it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I could call up anyone in the world and have a 1-hour conversation, who would I call? Fuck. Okay. A 1-hour conversation with anybody in the world. Who would I call? Well, I mean, I would definitely be selfish in that term, in that aspect. I mean, off the bat, I would probably call. I mean, I would make it worth it and try to gain something from it. So, I've always wanted to talk to Tony Robbins. I've always wanted to talk to Tony Robbins and question him and wonder, you approach things a really intense way. What if that's the wrong way for some people? But I mean, you could work that conversation out yourself. There's another person I would have a conversation with, and I was just thinking about it. Oh, man, what was it? What was it? Oh, duh. I would have a 1-hour conversation with fucking Machine Gun Kelly. Fuck yeah. No! I would have a 1-hour conversation with Pete Davidson. Because that guy's cool as fuck, man. And if I could just meet that guy, or Mgk, I mean, I would have a conversation. I would do a flash. I was born. So back in the day, we had this thing called Flash Call. And you could dial multiple numbers. Oh, wait, I think cell phones still have that shit. Yeah, you just call 2 people at the same time. And yeah, I would call Mgk and fucking Pete Davidson, bro. Because, like, dude, they're just cool as fuck. And I feel really relatable. And it's funny because me and Sibilactico, we were having a fucking conversation about that like 2 weeks ago when he came over. It was like, if you could befriend a celebrity, like, how would you do it? Because, I mean, everybody would be, like, their fan. Everybody would be hype as fuck. Like, how do you get your celebrity's attention? And just be like, yo, I want to chill out as fuck. I want to chill out as fuck. Like, let's hang. Like, how do you be different than the 99.99% of the other people? So I would take advantage of this question, and I would be like, yeah, I have an hour to talk with you guys. But, I mean, I don't know. I would probably not even use the entire hour. I would just be like, yo, Mgk, Pete Davidson, y'all are cool as fuck, man. And, I mean, I'm a fan, but I'm not tripping. Y'all are just humans. Like, you could have been born down my neighborhood street or whatever, and, like, I would have known you. And it would have been like, oh, I'm fucking Pete Davidson. Mgk. But yeah, y'all are fucking human, bro. And I'm human, and I ain't tripping. And I feel like this video turned into me wanting to be friends with Pete Davidson and Mgk, because that would be pretty cool. Because you see a person and you're like, yeah, we would be really good friends if we linked up, And I'll end the video there because that's relevant, and if they see this, I want them to know. Coming to fucking Lake Worth, guys. Because there's 48 sharks here.